Hello and welcome again to Click TV Africa. Of course, this is your regular program. It's a weekly regular program, image series with John Senaya. And today, once again, I have the pleasure of the company of my good friend Ayo.
Hi, folks.
You're
How you
welcome.
doing?
You're welcome, Ayo.
Thank you.
Today, I think we have a topic that most people have been waiting for: stepping up and taking charge. Stepping up and taking charge deals with how you control the stage and how you control your presentation each time you move in to take control. Today, we are going to also look at one or two questions that some of our viewers have asked, because in the last few weeks we've been able to touch on how to control your nervousness and a few other things. We'll come to that later. Now, when you run a meeting or a presentation, people expect you to take charge and always be in the lead. So we're going to give you a few tips and tricks on how you can take control of the stage from the get-go. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready to take charge.
You're ready to take charge. Now, like I said, we've already dealt with how to control your nervousness. Now is the time to take the platform, and you have to set the tone for the entire meeting or event. And what we advise is that you need to lay the ground rules. And to lay the ground rules, your body has to say it, and everything that happens has to circle around you. Now, to take lead in a meeting, you have to establish yourself as the controller of the event. So, what we mean there is that one, you pack your self confidence, you get out in front, you lay the rules. Otherwise, other people will make their own rules and the event becomes theirs. So, for you to control your presentation, you have to step up with style and with a lot of control. Now, Ayo, I hope you're flowing with me,
I am.
because I know that this is the point where a lot of people miss the bus.
That is where I think I actually didn't miss the bus. I fell off the bus. The issue is, taking control, taking charge, and laying the rules. Yes, perfect. But what happens when I am at the, should I say, the receiving end, where it's the client that is now setting the rules for me to follow? Because if I'm not playing within the boundaries of what the client is expecting me to deliver on, then I've failed in my delivery.
Yes, I quite sympathize with you, because it is normal that, especially if you're not in your own environment or
Yes.
your office or your
Mm-hmm.
space, that the client is likely to want to set the rules.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, once power is transferred, once you've been brought up to the
I'm now the one
stage,
on
you're
stage.
now the one in charge. I always say that I like holding the microphone because it's my weapon that shows power. With the microphone, I can get a head of state to get up or sit down or say his prayers. So, once you have been given the power to take charge of the meeting, please seize it and seize it fully.
Okay.
Okay? So, and from the way you carry yourself, from the things
Harrison.
you say, you can set the ground rules. Even from the point where you do what we call the housekeeping,
Okay.
where you tell people where the fire escape is and where the
Convenience.
conveniences are, you're already taking charge.
Okay.
So now, if you have, say, a presentation, you can seize power or take charge by letting your audience or your client know that your presentation is going to be for 30 minutes,
Okay.
okay, and that there will be no questions in between, because questions will be taken at the end of the presentation. Already you're establishing yourself,
Yes.
okay? And these are the things we often use to seize control,
Okay.
at presentations. So when we go back to stepping up now, because you have to step up first
Yes.
before taking charge.
But
Now, sorry, go ahead.
okay, while before stepping up, taking control, still talking on that.
Yes,
My issue is yes, being on stage,
yes,
you have the mic and
yes.
you have the control. You have set the ground rules.
Hmm.
But what happens when it's not a situation of a mic? I am a businessman in front of a prospective client who right now there's still a stage, but now there is no mic situation.
Trust you to
How do
trust
I
you to
take control?
think up, trust you to think up something. Well, yes, like I said, I always love the microphone.
Mm,
It immediately gives you
control.
power, control. However, like you said, if you're in a situation where there is no microphone,
Yes.
right? Even your body language,
Okay.
your body language is enough, to establish things. For instance, do you want to remain seated?
Okay.
If you remain seated, you don't have as much power as when you stand. Or if you are seated at a higher level than people listening to you,
You have more
you
power.
have more power. I've been to a few clients' offices where deliberately the man behind the table, right,
Mm,
is elevated. He's sitting
yes.
higher
Higher than
than
the rest
or
of.
any of his guests.
Mm,
So immediately gives him
okay. That's why it's the high
that power.
table.
It's
High table.
which is why we also have the
The
high
high
table.
table.
So your body language should take care of that actually.
Yes.
So now back to stepping up.
Stepping up.
Yeah. Now stepping up has to do with. I'm sure you've heard first impressions last.
Yes.
Yeah, first impressions. Do you know that within the first, within less than a second, anyone you're talking to, if you meet a new person, right,
Okay.
he can make an impression about you within less than 1 second.
Wow.
Just looking at you,
Love
you
at
know,
first sight.
that's almost not a sight. So, you can meet someone and within less than a second,
Mm,
cut an impression on that person.
okay.
So when you're going in front of your audience, it's important that from the moment they sight you, you exude power, brilliance,
Charisma. Okay.
professionalism, and all of them, charisma, whatever you think should help you.
Okay.
So we always say that your appearance, your grooming, your style, your clothing, your posture,
Okay.
even your facial expression, should show confidence, like I said, professionalism, and all of that. So that will help you a lot. Again, you should try not to make your clothing too overbearing,
Okay.
right? Especially when you're, say, a master of ceremony and you distract your audience from
Okay.
what you're saying, you know,
Like
to the way you look. So ornaments, for instance, in the case of ladies, ornaments and jewelry and stuff should be minimized.
what about
Okay.
the fitting of the clothing?
The fitting of the clothing. Sometimes our ladies may be tempted to go
A little very tight.
a little too tight. Yeah. Well, sometimes when it's tight, it's good, but
Mm,
it has to be appropriate.
okay.
That's the message. We always say that the audience is more concerned about the message and not
The
the messenger,
messenger.
right? So that's what we're actually aiming for.
Okay.
Be modest, be decent, don't take away from the message, don't get in the way of the
Of the
message,
message.
all right? So your appearance is very important. As a matter of fact, we have what to call the total look, the total look, which is a combination of a pleasant facial expression, your good posture, a positive attitude, even eye contact is very
Mm,
important. Someone said to me, I learned from a friend of mine a few days ago, and she was saying to me that when you're meeting someone for the first time, it's better to to use a pair of glasses.
um, really?
Yeah, because it deflects in a little way, it deflects that direct eye contact. If you're a shy person, for
Okay.
instance, if you use a pair of glasses, it deflects the pressure that you get from looking
Directly
directly
at
at
the
the
person.
next person.
Is it dark glasses now or just any
No, it doesn't have
glasses?
to be. It doesn't have to be dark. Any pair of glasses.
Okay.
Yes. So it helps you. It
Hmm.
helps you to at least deflect the
That's if you are
the energy
if you
that
are a
comes from
shy
the other.
type.
If you are the shy type, yes.
Because I know, like,
If-
in some cultures,
yes.
if your glasses are not medicated, you meet the person for the first time,
Mm.
and they will rather you take off those
Yeah,
glasses
those are sunglasses.
if they are not medicated.
Yeah, yeah, those are like sunglasses.
It doesn't have to be, some. It's part of the fad where you wear glasses.
We see. Let's define.
So as you said, glasses.
Yeah, pair
That's
of
what I'm trying to
glasses.
define.
Mm.
You know.
And I think really, I think where we're getting it wrong is calling it glasses.
Okay.
They're actually spectacles.
Spectacles. Okay. Okay.
They're actually spectacles. So, well, just the point that my friend made, and I think I flow with
Yeah,
her
it's a strong point.
because
It's
it
good.
helps. It helps a lot. Also, we want to look at other little things that you may overlook, even up to your fingernails. Are
It's
they well
important.
manicured and all of that? Is your appearance neat? Are you clean generally? And other little subtle appearance boosters. So that is to help you when you step up.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
remembered also another important issue: body odor.
Don't go there. Don't go there. And I say so because I think it has almost become a national problem now.
Really?
Yes, and maybe we should have a program
On
on
scent or
on
body
on
smell,
on, on body odors
body
because
odors.
yes, I know that we can do a little better.
But in this our
Yes.
climb, the heat
No, that's an
encourages.
excuse. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. So yeah, so that's it about
Okay.
stepping up, and the impression generally is that you have to create a positive
Poise.
poise and aura around yourself, such that you'll be acceptable to the average audience. Then we will look at taking charge. Um, Taking charge, I don't want to use the word hypnotize,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to use your eyes a little more, when you're up there. I took a class a few days ago, and I was telling my call them my students, well, my
Okay.
friends. I was telling them about the power of the
Eyes.
eye
Look
contact,
into
and
my
what I
eyes.
did was I took them back to, remember I taught you about meet and greet.
Yes.
When you get to the venue of your event, meet and greet and make friends.
Yes.
It's a tactical move, actually. When you meet and greet, let's imagine you make about 5 or 6 friends
Yes.
before the event itself starts. It is expected that these new friends of yours
Mm-hmm.
will sit at different points in the audience.
Okay.
Okay? Now, when you start your presentation, these are going to be your positive points, when you're speaking.
Yes.
So when you look at Mr. A and Mr. B, remember that Mr. C, who told you that he lived in Port Harcourt,
Mm.
and Mr. E, who is sitting at the back of the hall, they are all your friends,
Yes.
right? And they are the ones who are likely to give you the ready nod
Positive feedback.
or give you the applause. So it helps you to establish yourself even stronger because they help with your confidence boosting,
Which is why it's so important
which,
you always
yeah,
come early
they
before an event.
before an event, and they help defreeze your brain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, I said something about the control of your adrenaline when you're
Okay.
when you're starting your event. There is so much nervousness that it pumps up your adrenaline before you start speaking. it jacks up your blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what that leads to? That leads to a brain freeze.
Yeah.
Okay, and what the brain freeze does is that it makes you forget your name as soon as you pick up the mic. So what you do is you meet and greet. Already you're defreezing the brain. You
Yes.
make those friends. Already your
Taking
blood
care of
pressure is going
surprises.
down. Taking care of the nervousness, and the moment you start speaking, you're already in charge. So where are we? Stepping up.
Stepping up.
We haven't started taking charge.
No.
Yeah, we did. We actually started taking charge with the eye
Contact.
contact. Yes, because when you make eye contact with your audience, right? There's a level of hypnotism, going on there. Already, you're you're controlling them with
Yes.
your eyes. If you're able to connect with your eyes, they're likely to listen to you a
Listen
little
to you.
more. So the next time you stand in front of a group, well, I'll suggest that you make that eye contact. You smile. You demonstrate confidence even before you say a word, and then of course you'll be onto a very good start. Yeah.
I have a question. That thing, what's the difference between confidence and pride?
Ah.
You know, when some people come out, they don't come out in confidence,
Mm,
they come out in pride.
mm.
And then it's so important that you come out in confidence. And that's how do you know when you're coming out?
Do you want to tell me you don't know?
No,
There's a
sometimes.
clear difference. There's a clear difference. Sorry, that was a joke. There's a clear difference between confidence and pride.
Okay.
I think that excessive and unnecessary confidence, and maybe the expression of such excessive confidence,
Okay.
will be what you call pride,
Okay.
right? Because most times it's not necessary to get to a certain level of, or to show a certain level
Overly assertiveness.
of confidence, and once you start crossing that line, it is viewed
As pride.
as pride. Mark you, pride itself. Are we going into the English language now? Pride itself could be positive
Yes.
and negative.
Yes.
I'm sure you're talking about the negative
The
pride,
negative
yeah.
pride.
Not the pride of being
No, no,
of being
no, no.
Nigerian, or pride of being
No, no, it's the negative one
is the
because
negative
what
one.
I found out that in psychoanalysis, they say it's more about what you have not said
Yes.
that happens that affects the crowd than what you see.
Yeah.
So that pride affects the crowd negatively
Of
because you're
course.
actually attacking them when you come out in pride
Yeah.
on a negative level.
Most
Than when you
times.
come out in confidence, you're actually getting them to look at me. I'm the one on stage.
Most times.
That's why I wanted to see if there is a way of getting a clarity between the two.
Yeah. I think the excessive display of the unnecessary display of confidence
Okay.
is what I would describe as pride.
Okay.
So we're talking about taking control while you're out there, and we've said that you have to be clear
Yes.
about the rules. Once you're clear about the rules, people will not introduce their own rules, and of course, you'll be able to run the show your own way. Let's just remind our viewers that this is the image series with John Senaya, and we're on Click TV Africa, and every Wednesday at 12 noon, you have an opportunity of learning a few tips and tricks on public speaking, selling skills, speech skills, especially if you are what Aya would describe as the small.
And medium
So
scale
he has a
size
passion. He has a
businesses.
passion for them.
I'm in love with them.
Small and medium size
Businesses.
businesses. If you're a church minister, for instance, if you're
An MC,
a master of ceremony,
a comedian.
a comedian, and as if you really have opportunities to speak or address people at any level, it's important that you watch this program. You know what that reminds me of? That we are actually all naturally exposed to presentations in our daily lives.
Every day.
And even as a family, maybe as a head of the family, right? Or even any member of the family can be called upon to say the opening prayer and morning prayer. So it's a presentation.
It is. I just remembered there was a day I was taking a class on presentation, and one asked why is there a need to learn presentation, and I told him then I said really there is no need because I mean it's so important that if it wasn't important then you don't need to dress up and go out every day
Hmm.
because for the fact that you need to wake up and dress up you are making a presentation
Yeah.
barely by dressing up. If not, then you just go out naked and move around.
Absolutely.
That's how important it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very important because at any point you may just be called to say one thing or the other
That's so.
at your regular Monday meeting at work. So we have to be mentally and physically ready, to take charge of these things.
That's it.
Yeah.
In
So, yeah, go ahead.
so in addition, um, if you have a message or you have a course you want to sell, you have a message to pass out,
Yeah.
you have something you want to convince someone about, then this program is so important because you have to know how to present it. For
Mhm.
example, how do you take charge of this situation to be able to talk about it? If you can't do that, then that's where you get frustrated passing your message.
Mhm.
And everybody has a message, be it positive or negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a message just came in. Thank you. This is from Debo. Debo 2, he says. And Debo wants to know why he always has sweaty palms whenever,
Hmm.
whenever he wants to present. Well, Debo, I wish I could help you there. But the truth is that most people actually have sweaty palms when it comes to um,
Public speaking.
public speaking. The thing is, a lot of us don't even notice it. So, Debo, it's all down to that adrenaline rush,
Yes.
okay? It's all down to nervousness. But the good news is that if you're able to do all those little things that I talked about, preparing yourself mentally, meet and greet, do some. You can even do some little exercises at home or on the way to the presentation. Get your vocal cords ready, mentally be sure of what you want to say. Then all of that reduces your adrenaline rush. It helps your blood pressure from spiking. It stops it from spiking, which may lead to wet
Wet
palms,
palms.
you know. And never mind, nobody sees those wet palms. Just go ahead, do your thing. Take a few. You can do some breathing
Exercises.
exercises, and when you breathe, breathe from the tummy. Okay, breathe from the tummy and not from the chest, and that should help you a little. So, well, thank you, Debo. I hope we'll get some more questions before the end of the program. Yeah. So I was talking about taking
Step.
control.
Yes.
Yeah, taking control. Um, you need to take control first of yourself, that is your emotions, and then also take control of your environment, that is your audience and all of that. Mentally, you don't want to approach a presentation or a speech thinking, is it going to work? No, this has stopped. You don't want to get up there with too many what ifs, all right?
Yeah.
If you go up there with too many what ifs, what if the mic doesn't work? What if the audience doesn't come?
What if I
What
fall
if we're
down?
four? What if my shirt rips open? What if I can't read? What if the light goes off? All of these what ifs come back to spiking your blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and you make a mess. You make a mess of it. So I want to advise you that to be able to take control,
I'm just going to do it.
just go out there, take control of your mind. Be calm. And everything will be fine. Yeah,
That is it.
that is
The
it.
most important thing is at the end of the day, you get a round of applause.
Yes, you get. I shouldn't get you on this program anymore. I was actually. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Actually, you see the question of getting a round of applause. If you expect the applause too much
That's also going to spike your.
from the
Mm,
audience, that will also um, disturb your presentation,
yeah.
because what it means is you've taken your mind off what you're delivering,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking for the reward,
Okay.
and if it doesn't come, then possibly midway
You
through
you will forget
you
everything.
forget everything. Okay, so yeah, still talking about taking control.
Okay.
Now, your meeting has started, the presentation has started, your delivery has started, and you check the mood of the audience, okay? And you can decide that, the audience, I can see that there are a number of people falling asleep,
Okay.
right?
So
You need to take
concentration
control.
is dropping.
Concentration is dropping. You can decide to do a tea break,
Okay.
or you can decide to get them to sing if it's that kind of
If
an
it's that kind.
environment, and so you're able to get them refreshed.
Refresh.
It's called reading the mood
Okay.
of your audience. Now, remember that your job is to bring back,
Their concentration.
the concentration back to where it should be, and there are other things you can also do. Um, you can clap. You can clap your hands.
Okay.
You see that there's someone
The,
nodding. Just do something unusual, right? Sometimes I bring in the power of the pause. You
okay.
know what the power of the pause is?
No, what's that?
The power of the pause is I'm speaking with you now. I all of a sudden I stop, right?
Okay.
Because you're probably fiddling with your phone or
Okay.
something, and I pause.
Which will just get me. Where is he?
Which
What was he
oh
saying?
oh why did he stop? Why
Yes.
did he stop? So that's the power of the pause. The pause, we'll talk about the pause later,
Okay.
but we can use the power of the pause in different situations. You can also say, "May I have your attention?" You know,
Oh, that's true.
"May I have your attention?" You can repeat it until the
Attention is
actually
gotten.
attention is gotten. Then you can thank them for their attention. Then you can now, or you can engage them and say, "Oh, what was the last thing, or where did we stop?"
Did you get what I just said?
Did you? Yes. So those are little tricks that will get you back in
The audience.
in control. Um, Maybe we should remind our viewers again.
Yes. Hi everyone. You are watching Image Series with John Senaya, and my name is Ayo. I have the privilege to be sitting beside Mr. John Senaya, the PR and communications expert, or should I say guru. So, and we are here every Wednesday by 12 noon on Click TV. So always endeavor to watch. But even if you have missed previous sessions or previous editions, it's still available online on CliqueTvAfrica.com. We are always there for you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in summary, what we're saying is that when you run a meeting,
Yes.
you know, or a presentation, people expect you to take charge
Yes.
and be in control. So you have to take the lead position. So don't disappoint them. I think I've taken charge this week. I look forward to taking charge again
Next week.
next week, Wednesday, 12 noon, on the Image series on Click TV Africa. Now you can DM
Yes.
me
Yes.
on clicktvafrica.com/image series, and you can also find us on Instagram,
Facebook,
Facebook,
and Twitter
and Twitter.
at CliqueTvAfrica.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye, guys.